Hello everyone, and welcome to the free and live Learn the Basics of WordPress webinar brought to you by CloudAccess.net. Today I want to show you how to launch a free WordPress site that will stay active indefinitely as long as you're active in the site and on the CloudAccess.net platform. And I'll also show you how to develop that site. We'll cover just the basics of WordPress, and at the end of the presentation you can post your questions and get answers. I can follow up with you directly. If you raise a hand, I can bring you live into the webinar or post those questions, and again I'll answer it for you if I can. If I can demonstrate it using core WordPress functionality, I'll do that. If it involves a third-party theme or plugin, I'll help point you to some support resources for you specifically. Today we will talk about WordPress themes, we'll talk about plugins, we'll talk about creating categories and posts and pages. We'll also talk about menus, widget-ready areas, and embedding media into the site and creating image galleries, all sorts of different things. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ryan Bernstein. I'm going to be your host and presenter today. And again, I encourage you to find that GoToMeeting slide out question area and start posting those questions. And if it's timely and relevant to what I'm discussing at the moment, I'll pause and incorporate your question into the presentation, or we'll get to those again at the end of the presentation. You can reach out to me too on Twitter if you'd like to, at CloudAccess, or email me at webinars@cloudaccess.net. Just a tiny bit about our platform before we begin the presentation. In just a moment, we're going to log into the CCP, which is the Cloud Control Panel. It is a custom-built control panel, and it's an interactive application management tool. You can launch new Joomla or WordPress sites, and each of those sites is hosted for free, again, indefinitely, as long as you're active within the CCP once every 30 days, and you're continually developing the site. We do offer hosting and support packages. Each of those free sites offers a lot of resources for developing, but if you do need more site resources, or you need a custom domain name or additional help from our team, you can upgrade to one of our hosting and support packages to get that help. And that help includes our insane support, which isn't limited to hosting support. You can actually call our team or submit a ticket online to get help with the application. We can answer your core Joomla or WordPress questions. We also have a lot of free training resources. Of course, this is a free webinar that you're in today, but we've got video tutorials and all sorts of things available on our YouTube channel and in our knowledge base on our website. We also, of course, offer domain names if you do want to purchase one. In fact, right now we're offering a promotion. We have free .org domain names through the end of the year. And we're also offering a discounted .rocks domain name if you're looking for something a little bit more fun. And we do have a worldwide network. We have nodes on servers around the world, and sites hosted with us perform noticeably fast. I am going to be moving quickly through today's presentation. And we do have a video tutorial series on our YouTube channel that kind of breaks down all the steps that we'll be discussing today into individual tutorials. And this is actually being recorded right now, and it will be on our YouTube channel a little bit later today. So we'll discuss, or you can always go to our YouTube channel and watch this webinar. It takes a few hours to archive and get it up on the channel, but it'll be there for you to review. Let me go ahead and close this presentation, and I'll show you our YouTube channel a little bit later today, but we want to go ahead and go to CloudAccess.net. And if you haven't already done so, go to the register button at the top of the page to register for a free account. Just a few questions, creating passwords and providing your email information. No payment method needed to create that account. It is entirely free. And then once you do that, you're going to want to log into the CCP or the Cloud Control Panel. So I'll log in here. I'll use my email address and username to log into my account in just a moment. And let me make sure this is the right password. And so this is the CCP, or the Cloud Control Panel, as I mentioned. This is really the place where you're going to manage and maintain your relationship with us. And you can also manage all of your applications as well. So at the top of this, the first thing you'll see is how many active hosting products you have, how many open support tickets you have with our team, how many invoices are due, and how many domain names you have registered with us. Over off to the left menu, you can shop new products, go back to the CCP homepage, get support. All of these options here, many of these options here are also available by clicking on these buttons as well if you'd like to get a new product or get some help. Now if you scroll down to your products here, you'll see a list of your active hosting products. You see I have several sites already in my account. If you first log in, what you get to is a page that looks like this. Let's go back to the new product page. When you first log in, it'll say 0 active hosting, 0 tickets, 0 invoices, and to launch that free site, you'll click on the free button here. Now let me go back just one page, just be very quick, and show you that each of the applications that I've already launched, you can see I have a Joomla 3.3 site here, a WordPress 3.9, a Joomla 2.5. I can manage that application by clicking on the Manage tab, which will kind of expand upon the quick links that are down below here. So all of these features are available to you to help manage the application. I'll show you a few of them throughout today's presentation. I also have tabs here for my free sites. So these are active sites on a hosting plan, and then these are all of my free sites that they don't expire unless I'm inactive in the Cloud Control panel. I can click here to upgrade if I need to. I also, of course, have domain names and a free Cloud Mail account with each domain name, an integrated email solution, customized to my domain. Again, kind of getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to this new product button and go ahead and launch that free site. Let's get started. Click on the Launch Free Site here. And the first thing I need to do is create my domain name. And the domain is actually on a subdomain, which is .freesite.host. And so my site will be whatever I create, .freesite.host. And this, again, is a free subdomain active indefinitely, as long as you're active with the site. Let's go ahead and create our free domain. And we're going to create a site today for a guitar shop, Guitar Central. And actually, let's call this guitarshop.freesite.host. I think I already launched guitarcentral.freesite.host. So we'll do Guitar Shop, and the next step is to select which application and which version. I'm going to go, of course, with that WordPress 4.0 site here. So I'll make sure this button is selected here, and then I'll click on Create Site. And the first thing we'll do is our automated system will validate that domain, make sure it is available. We're going to provision the site for you. The site includes some sample data, and there's also a welcome email that's being sent to the email address that I used to register the account. The welcome email contains a link to the front end of the site, details on accessing the dashboard, the place where you create and manage all of the content for the WordPress site. And in just a moment, right now, actually, we're redirected back to our CCP. And so the site is ready. It's already active and launched, and that was, you see, was less than a minute, I think less than 30 seconds it took to launch that site. So it's already ready. And let's go ahead and click on this link. This is the page to manage the individual application. As I was saying earlier, it kind of expands upon those quick links in the sort of the CCP homepage. But I'm going to click on this link here, and that's going to take me to the front end of my WordPress 4.0 site. And WordPress 4.0 is the latest version of WordPress. We do offer a managed hosting platform where we keep your application up to date. So again, here's our front end. And so this is the public-facing view of the WordPress site. This is what our site visitors see. And we're actually looking at a theme. This is called the 2014 theme that comes with the WordPress site. We have a site title here. This is our first post. We have one sample page in the site. I'll click on that. See our sample page, and we'll talk about the difference between posts and pages. This is my menu up at the top of the page, and then these are widgets off to the left side. Each theme is different and provides different areas for menus and for widgets. They call them widget-ready areas. These are all things we'll discuss in today's webinar. Let's return to the CCP, and under the Application tab, I'm going to use this drop-down to click on the Log into WordPress or option, and that's going to log me directly into the WordPress dashboard. It's really just a one-click login, and this is the WordPress dashboard. This is the place where I update my content, I create my posts and pages, I add my media, and the dashboard is broken down into these tools that you see in the toolbar off to the left side. And I have my main dashboard area, which will take me back to the dashboard homepage and also provide me any updates that are available for my WordPress site. And then I have my content management features, including my posts and media, pages and comments. And then I have my sort of system and appearance management features. I can manage my themes, plugins, my users for the site, and other tools available in settings. So here's my structural sort of management tools, my content management tools, and then some quick links to the dashboard homepage. When you're logged in, you can tell because your image appears up here if you have a gravatar. And if you're interested in learning about what a gravatar is, it's just an avatar of yourself associated with your email address. You can create those if you'd like to. And you can also edit your profile, and this is your username. You also see a link up here at the top of the page to visit the front end of the site. We have our front end open, and actually, do I? Yeah, I do have my front end open. So again, this is the front end of the site, and I logged in, so I also see a change here that allows me to access the back end of the site. This little gray bar appeared once I logged in. I can get to the dashboard, I can go to my themes, kind of quick links to get to different areas of the dashboard. And so let's go back here though. The one thing we noticed when we first log in is the Welcome to WordPress message at the top of the dashboard, and there are some really great links here to help you do some learning and discovery for your WordPress site, and a lot of this content we're going to cover in today's webinar. And so I'm going to simplify my dashboard a little bit by just dismissing this message. And so now I get my main components of the WordPress dashboard. And I can customize this if I like to. I can drag and drop a few of these features or minimize. And there are a few options for customization in this area. Now, you notice how the dashboard is selected in the toolbar, and so my dashboard options open up in my main contextual area. And every time I select a new option in the toolbar, let's go to Posts, for instance, my posts open up into my main contextual area. If ever I want to return back to the dashboard homepage, just go to Dashboard and Home here. Okay, let's go back to that post page. And when you're here, you do have some few options for customization as well. Notice how I have one post, Hello World. This is part of my sample data, but I can see who the author was. I can see the category that it's saved into, and tags, comments. Let's say I don't want comments to appear in this area. I'd come up to Screen Options here, and then just deselect comments, and notice how the comments disappear. So there are some ways to customize this area. Let's go ahead and leave comments on though. I'll minimize this. There's also this Help tab, and this is really convenient. When you open up a new feature of WordPress, there is an overview, there's tips and links to documentation and support forums for each of these individual features in case you need a little bit of help. Let's go ahead and minimize that as well. Now, let's return to our main dashboard area, and the first thing that we should talk about are themes. So before we actually create any content, let's change our theme. Again, we're using the 2014 theme, and if we go to the back end, we can go to Appearance and Themes. When we first open our themes area, we'll notice that we have 3 themes already installed in the site. We've got 2014, again, which is a default theme, and this is our current active theme. We also have 2013. 2014 was created for really like a magazine style site, and then 2013 was last year's theme, and this really has it's really for a blog. WordPress was originally developed as a blogging platform, and this is kind of getting back to basics, the 2013 theme. And 2012 was more for like a brochure company website, and this would suit our purposes today, but I'm actually going to stick with the 2014 theme. I kind of like it. It's easy to use. But I could activate a new theme if I wanted to. If I hover my mouse over here, you can see the theme details appear. If I want to click on the live preview button, I can see what my site content will look like with the new theme. And this is just a preview. It's not live on the front end, but here's what my content looks like this. We see a different color scheme. My menu changed just a little bit. My widgets come down to the bottom, and that's this 2013 theme. If I wanted to activate this, I could click on the Save and Activate button here. Let's go ahead and close the theme though. I can also click on the Activate button here. Let's do that. And now we've changed themes. So here we have 2013. If I return to the front end and refresh the page, you'll see that we now have that theme as active on the front end. And it's really that simple, changing themes. I am going to return to the back end. I'm going to reactivate the 2014 theme in just a moment, but I do want you to notice this message here, new theme activated, this little green bar. This lets us know that we've done something successfully. We'll see this from time to time throughout the day as we develop. And you also may see a red message from time to time letting you know that you were unable to make the change that you wanted to. Now, you can also browse other themes. Let's go ahead and click on the Add New button. And this takes us to sort of a stream from theme.wordpress.com. And this is a list of 15 featured themes, and there are a number of themes here, and I really do suggest that you spend some time looking at different themes, looking at your options, perhaps looking at a few different models of websites and how you'd like your content to appear, and really creating that look and feel for your site visitors. It's really important. So find that theme that works best for you, and then you can install it. These are free. Most of them are free. They're featured free themes that you can install directly into your site. So for instance, let's install the Simone theme. Click on Install, and in just a moment, this will install into our site, and I'm already ready. So it's installed into the site. If I want to return to my themes, I could click on Live Preview if I wanted to and see what the theme looks like. It's not the default theme for our site yet, but here's what that Live Preview looks like. Again, our menu changes, color schemes, and our widgets are now over off to the right side. Let's go ahead and close the preview, and I'll go back to all of my themes by clicking on Appearance and Themes here. And here I see Simone is active in the site. Again, not my default theme. I am going to go ahead and activate that 2014 theme though. So now I've returned to 2014, return to the front page and refresh, and we're back to 2014. Let's come back here just so you know that, again, these themes are all available online at theme.wordpress.com. theme.wordpress.com, and there are more themes here too, and some are commercial. There are 302 themes here. There are trending themes and newest and popular and free and also premium themes, and again, some are commercial, some are free, and you'll just have to find what works best for you. And a premium theme, I believe, it is a commercial theme, and usually when you buy a subscription to one of these developers, you get a certain amount of support for the theme too in case you have any questions. All right, so returning to our site, we've selected 2014, and now we can start customizing. Okay, so before we add some content, let's talk about the options to really personalizing and customizing this theme. I'll click on the Customize button here on the theme so I can get to the customization area. And what will happen is our customization window opens up, and my main contextual area now is the live preview. And my options to customize are over here off to the left. For instance, let's go to Site Title and Tagline. I'm going to erase the site title and type in a new site title. And I want you to notice, I'll do the same with the tagline. Notice how in the live preview area, the text that I'm typing will appear. So we'll type in your one-stop guitar shop. Okay, so those changes take place in the live preview area. We also have a few color options for this theme, and again, remember, each theme is inherently different, and you may or may not have color options. You may or may not have the header image or the background image options. So especially before you purchase something, make sure you demo and you get a few options here, at least a few, to upgrade or to customize the theme. The site title color is just going to change that Guitar Central text that we just typed in. I'm going to select this orange color, and then the other option here is the background color. Now in the preview, it's just going to change a little sliver of color over off to the right side of the theme, but let's go ahead and change that. I'll set that to the orange color as well. You can see that orange show up on the right side, and if, again, these changes aren't active on the front end. If I refresh the page at the front end, you'll see nothing changes because I still have to click on Save and Publish. So let's click on that. We'll return to the front end and refresh the page, and you see just how quickly those changes show up on the front end, which is kind of cool. We also have the option to upload a header image and a background image. So again, header images look differently in different themes. Let's go ahead and show you what this looks like in this theme. Here, when we open this up, we see recommended dimension sizes, and again, this will change from theme to theme. We're looking at about 1260 by 240. I'm going to add a new image from my computer. Select a file, and I've done a little bit of work getting some imagery ready for this site. So let's go to my guitar folder. Again, I've gathered some imagery, and I've done a little bit of work kind of planning out what I'd like the site to look like and the type of content I want in there. And that's a really great strategy, is to kind of have a plan before you jump into the development phase. So my header image is right here, and once I upload that image, I see it into my media library. And this is basically, when I uploaded that, I was taken to an abbreviated view of the media library. And the media library can be used in different articles or posts and pages within the site, and I can do quite a lot with the media library. And I only have one image in there so far, of course, and it's checked here. I know this is the image I'm going to use for my header image, and I also get some attachment detail options over here. So creating a title and a caption and alternative text and a description, this is really important if for whatever reason viewers on the front end can't see the image. Have you ever seen a broken image on a website that just says image.jpg? Well, that's because they didn't create a title or an alternative text. So again, I'm not going to add that in now, but it's really important that you guys create that. So let's click on the select and crop button. This image isn't exactly to size, so I'll use the drag and drop feature within WordPress to crop this. So I've got that in place, and WordPress really isn't an image editing software. You can do a couple things here to crop and change dimensions, but you probably want to get those images roughly down to size before you get them into the WordPress site. Let's click on crop image here, and that's going to close my Media Manager. I'm going to be redirected to my live preview area where I can see that header in place. And I did include a logo on this header, which helps to personalize the theme just a little bit. The next step here is let's go down to this background image option. So we can minimize the header image, go to background image. No background images in the site already. If I click on no image here, though, I can upload a new file, select a file, again, from our computer. I have this background I'm going to use. I want you to know that this is a pretty high-resolution, large image, and I'm going to select it, but it's going to take just a moment to load into the WordPress site because it's so big. And you should just be aware of the size of the images that you're using in the site, and especially for the background. And the reason I say that is because you notice how long it takes to load into the site, but the background can slow down your page load time as well. So if your site visitors are reaching your page and that page isn't loading quickly enough, it may be because you have a really high resolution image like this in the background. So there we have our background image in place. Let's go ahead and click on the Save and Publish button, and we'll return to the front end of the site, refresh the page, and we can see our background in place and we see our header image. All right, so there are a couple other areas here that are impacted by our theme. And notice too how that background is sort of scrolling with my image. I should get back to this here quickly. There are a few options here down below to have the background repeat, have it positioned, have it fixed. Let's go ahead and click on fixed here and save and publish. And then we'll return to the front end and refresh. And notice now how the background is now fixed. Just a couple cool options there. The other options, though, as I was mentioning, we have widgets and creating a static front page and creating featured content. And these are cool options. I'm going to come back to these a little bit later. Each of them kind of deserves a little bit more time. But let's create some content first and come back to this stuff. So returning to the front end, yeah, we got our theme kind of in place a little bit, and we want to start developing content. The next step is to talk about the difference between the different types of content in WordPress. So here, our homepage right now is set to our posts, and we're going to change this. We're going to have a static page on our WordPress site as our homepage. Right now, again, we're set to posts, and posts are your continually updated content. So you can have different categories for your posts and different tags to help organize the posts. But the post, it's like a blog or announcements, any type of continually updated comments. They usually have social sharing options within the post and commenting as well. Now pages are really part of your menu structure, and they're organized in parent and child relationships, so you can have that drop-down feature, right? They're not organized through categories. Pages are more for your static content, and if you like an About Us page, right, that would be static content, or just a static, home page for the website, which is what we're going to use today. That's going to be a page. So we're going to start by developing our posts first. And before we actually develop the post, let's close our theme here in the back end. Let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. Clicking on Dashboard, Home, and we actually want to create a category for our posts. If I open up our post page, you'll see that we have one post, Hello World. It's in the uncategorized category, published 18 minutes ago when we launched the site. If we go to Posts here, we're going to click on the Categories option before we even create our first post. We'll see that we only have the one category, which is uncategorized, and WordPress to work right, it needs at least one category. So this is why this comes as a default category within the site. Let's go ahead and go to the name. We'll create a name for this, and I'm going to call this my Guitar Central blog. Now a slug is part of the URL, and I want my guitar, this will autofill in WordPress to Guitar Central blog, but if you wanted to customize or do a URL friendly version of that category name, you could do that here, and you could also make this a subcategory of a different category if you'd like to. I'm just going to have this be a root category for my site, and I could offer a description. None of that's required though. So I'm going to go ahead and just add new category, and I see that category appear here on my page. So let's now create a post. Let's just save into that category. But actually, WordPress it's going to save my post automatically to this uncategorized category. So I'm actually going to change one of my settings for the site. I'm going to come down here to my structure options and go to settings, and then I'll go to writing, because I want my post to not by default save into the uncategorized category. I want my default post to be that Guitar Central blog category. So we are going to have a blog within the site, but we're just not going to have that be our home page, and we're automatically going to save all posts into this category. Let's go ahead and scroll down. Some other options here. I'll click on Save In or Save Changes. I get that little green message again letting us know we saved successfully, and then I'll come back up to my posts here, and I'll go back to all of my posts. And what I want to do now is click on the Add New button to create a new post. And the first post I want to create is, welcome to our new WordPress website. And once I create the post, I'll want to actually add in some content. And I'm actually going to go to the internet, and I'm going to search for lorem ipsum. Oops. Lorem ipsum is filler text. It's Latin, and it does mean something, but it really is just filler text. And I'm going to copy this paragraph for my post. And I want you to notice, though, how the text is bold, and there is a font with this, and there, occasionally could be other formatting here. And the reason why I bring that up is because the tendency of a lot of our users is to create an article or a post in WordPress, or I'm sorry, in a Microsoft Word document or some other type of word processor, and they've used that word processor to format the text with, bold, italicized, underline, and lists and all sorts of things, fonts and colors, and that's not web formatting. So when you do copy and paste into WordPress, we advise that you click on this little toggle toolbar button here. This is what's called the kitchen sink, and they just give you a whole bunch of other options here. Specifically, this paste as plain text button. Looks like a little clipboard with a T on it. Click on this and you can paste in plain text mode. Say OK, and so what I'll do is I'll paste in my text, and this turns into plain text where there's no formatting. And so what I can do now is use my editor here. Here's my editor to format the text, and this will apply web formatting, and that's important for a number of reasons. For instance, I'm going to make a heading 1 out of the title, and if I click on this tab here, this shows me the HTML version of the article, and you don't need to know HTML in order to work with WordPress. But notice this H1 tag, that's that heading 1 that we just applied. And this is important for search engine optimization because Google and those search engines, they index this H1 content. Okay, and that'll help people start to find you on the internet. That's just one of many SEO tricks that you can apply to your content. Also, of course, making sure the content is engaging and relative and full of keywords can be really important. Let's go ahead and show you a couple other features of the editor here. I always like this block quote for some reason right here. Block quote makes things stand out just a little bit. And of course we have bold, italicized, strike through, ordered and unordered list, and alignment options, indenting, outdenting, just a lot of options here. You can change colors or underline, and you can also create links. If you highlight a word, click on the link button, you can link to content within your WordPress site or external content as well. Let's go ahead and show you how to embed an image too. I'm going to embed an image in this paragraph right here, so I'll put my cursor where I want the image to appear, and then I'll click on this Add Media button. We're just going to embed one image, and we're not going to embed either of the images that we've already uploaded to the site, but I'm going to click on Upload Files, and then click on the Select Files. Again, browsing my computer. I'm actually going to go back to this page. I think I have a nice WordPress image here. I do. I'm going to insert that WordPress image. And again, I can create the caption, alternative text, or description, but I also have a few additional options down here, including alignment. And I really like this. I want to left align. And this is going to wrap text around the image. And I can left align or right align. And I can also use a full size or a thumbnail. I'm going to select that thumbnail option. It's going to give me a sort of a smaller view of that image that I'd like. And you can change the link here too if you want to allow people to link to that file. You could do a media file or a custom URL, whatever you'd like. Let's go ahead and insert that to the post, and you'll see how that's embedded now, and it's left aligned. Okay, so the text wraps around the image, and it is a little bit smaller than the image that I uploaded. Let's go ahead and you know that you can save this as a draft. We'll click on Save. It's not published as of yet. Okay. I can also preview the post. This is a live preview, but this is not, again, accessible on the front end of the site. That's what the post looks like right now. I'm going to close that preview, and if I like it, I can go ahead and publish it. Like the way it looks, and so the post is being published right now. We'll return to the front end. Let's go ahead and go back to the home page, and because this is my most recent post, it appears right at the top of my page. And again, I have this post page as my front page. We're going to change this blog to be an inside landing page, and we're going to make it accessible on this main menu here in just a little bit after we create a page. So kind of just to repeat the process again. Oh, actually, you know what? I should show you that by default this does save into the Guitar Central blog category that we created, and you can apply a few tags to this as well. Now, categories, again, are really broad organizational tools, and I like to compare it to a closet. And in your closet, if you're like me, you know, you have your pants hanging up, and then you have your shirts. That's really all I have, I guess. I have a suit or two in there, but those would be larger categories, and tags are smaller categories. I have my pants, but then I'd have khakis or jeans, and then I have my shirts, but then I'd have golf shirts and button-down shirts, and you know these. So this is a kind of smaller sort of organizational tools tags. So I could type in here WordPress guitar website would be a little bit more specific, and it has to be relative to the content in your site as well. Okay, and you can also set a featured image. Let's do this later on in a later post. But let's go ahead and we'll update that post now. We made a few changes with the tags. We'll update that, and then we'll go ahead. Let's just repeat the process again. We'll add a new post to the page, and I'll title this one "Meet Our Featured Guitarist for October." I'm going to paste in that plain text again. Say OK. We're going to do the same thing by creating a heading here. Heading 1 or heading 2 are both indexed. Let's go ahead and do that block quote. I don't know, I just like the way the block quotes look, but I'm going to insert another image by clicking on Add Media here. Let's go ahead and upload a file. Select a file. I'll go back to that guitar category here. Here's my guitarist. I am going to let's do right alignment on this one, and I'll use the thumbnail and insert into post. So there's my featured guitarist. I'll scroll down. I might add in here guitarist lessons, perhaps acoustic, and then perhaps the person's name into the post would be relevant. All right, let's go ahead and publish this. I like the way it looks. I could preview if I like, but just kind of want to illustrate again how to do that. Let's return to the front end and refresh. And so our post again appears at the top because it's our most recent. And notice the tags too, right, that we added, other organizational features. And this helps some of this content gets indexed, as does that image title or the alternative text for the image, so that's really important for SEO as well. And your site users could also go through your content and start to see what else has this tag, what's relative to what you just read. Okay, so that's the purpose of tags. And so we created a few posts for our site. That's really great. Let's go ahead now and create a new page for the site. And by default, when we create a new page, it will be listed on this menu. And after we create the page, we'll talk about adding in, actually creating our custom menu. So by default, you get one menu, but we can create more. So let's return to the back end, and we'll go, or the dashboard, and we'll go to Pages here. And again, we have the one sample page in the WordPress site, and I did show you that on the front end. That's this page. I think I'll delete this in just a minute. We'll get it out of the site, but let's create some of our own pages. First, click on the Add New button. And the first page we'll create, this is going to be our static home page for the site. So I'll type in Welcome to Guitar Central. And let's go ahead and paste in some more text. Again, another heading. We'll do another block quote just because I like them. Heading. Let's embed an image. I find that this repetition really helps our new users learn what the heck they're doing in the WordPress site. And I'm going to select this black and white here. I'll do left alignment again. And we'll do the thumbnail, which is good, and insert that into the post. So there's my image. And notice how we don't have category options here because pages are not saved into categories. They're worked in parent-child relationships. And I'm just going to have this be a root item, not a child item for now. We'll change that in the future. We'll create a few additional pages. But then we can also set a featured image, which is really cool. So let's set our featured image, and I'm going to upload a new file. And featured images, of course, appear differently in pages and posts depending on the theme you're using. But let's set a featured image for this. I like this image here. We'll upload that. Set featured image. So we get the preview down below, and again, we could preview if we wanted to or save draft. Let's go ahead and just publish this one though. and then we can return to the front end, refresh the page, and notice here Welcome to Guitar Central becomes a menu item. Let's click on this to see what our page looks like. And my image actually isn't perfect. You see I've got some gray area here. This will be adjusted when we talk about widget ready areas. It looks okay, not perfect though. So you know, depending on whether or not you use the widget ready areas, you'll see in a minute what I mean by that. We're going to place some more content over here off to the right side, which will push this image over, and it'll look a little bit better than it does right now. There is a lot of imagery on the site already. You may or may not want a header image, something like this, but I actually think it looks kind of cool. Let's talk about imagery a little bit differently now. We talked about embedding and header and featured images. Let's create an image gallery in this page. So I'm going to put my cursor down here, and then I'll click on Add Media again. And we also have an option here to create a gallery. And so what this does, it allows me to feature several smaller thumbnails of images for that gallery. And I'm not going to actually do the images I've already uploaded. I'll upload new images. So I'm going to select some files from my computer. And I want you to notice how I can actually select several. I can upload several at once. So let's go ahead and open each of these up. I think I've got 7 images in the gallery. And as those load, notice the check mark, and then notice the thumbnails down at the bottom. When you create the gallery, you select the images you want to add, and the thumbnail appears at the bottom. And right now we only have 10 or so images in the site, but let's say we have 1,000 images. You can see how useful these thumbnails could actually be. Okay? So we've got those selected, and you know what? These 2 images are really similar, so I'm just going to deselect that image. Okay? And we can also, let's create the new gallery. When we create the gallery, notice how we can actually add a caption for our images. So let's just type in a caption for each. I'll show you what this looks like once we create it. Open mic. Retro, do storyteller, curves, volume. Okay, so we'll insert the gallery, and here's how the gallery looks, and we have this cool kind of mouse over caption for the image, which I kind of like. Let's go ahead and update our page, return to the front end, and refresh. So now we get that gallery in there, and if you click on it, you'll actually get the image. I did resize these; they're very small into the site. So that's an image gallery. Pretty cool. And I don't know if you noticed too, but there were options. If you highlight the image, and actually you should notice if you highlight any image, you can click on this and edit the image and create captions and alternative text, and you can change alignment and things like that as well. But if I wanted to edit this gallery, just notice how you do have options for columns and things like that, and random order. You could change that, and just a few additional settings there. So now that we have the one page created in the site, let's return here and let's go to all of our pages. I want to get rid of this sample page. I'm just going to click on trash here. I want to get rid of it completely. I don't need it. It's part of the sample data. I like to keep my site clean, and so now here I have just my welcome to Guitar Central, just the one page I created. Let's see, what else should we do? We should talk about our menus next. Let's talk about this custom this menu. As I mentioned, default menus, or by default pages are saved into your menu. So what I'll do is I'll return to the back end of the site, and let's go to Appearance and go down to Menus at this point. We don't have any menu created in the site, so I want to create a new menu, and I'm going to call this my main menu. and then I'll click on Create Menu. So the main menu is now created, and what I can do is I'm going to automatically add new top-level pages to this menu. So every time I create a new menu or a new page, it's going to be added to this menu. And I'm also going to put this in the top primary menu position in this theme. Again, the 2014 theme allows for 2 places for menu. We have the secondary menu in the left sidebar, which are looking at the front end, is here. Okay, so I could put this menu off to this side, or returning here, I could put it in the top primary menu, which is up here. So this is going to be, even though by default it already appears here, I'm going to put this in my top primary menu position. Okay, let's go ahead and save that menu, and then return to the front end and refresh. But my menu item disappeared, my Welcome to Guitar Central, and that's because I still need to add that page to this menu. So if I select the pages here, I click on this and click on Add to Menu. So now I can see my one menu item on this menu. Let's save the menu, return and refresh, and my menu item reappears here, which is kind of what I'm after. Okay, so returning to the back end again, I'm going to create a few additional pages here, and we're actually going to create a page for our blog posts. And so we'll go back to Pages right now. Let's go to Add New, Pages, Add New. I'm going to call this my Guitar Central blog. And I'm not going to put any content in here, okay? But I will save, or I will publish this page. And let's return to the front end. Let's refresh the page. And you'll see our Guitar Central blog appears here, but it has no content. It has our comments, but what we want to do is the blogs that we wrote, we want those blogs to be linked to this menu item. And we also want to set this Welcome to Guitar Central as our static front page, and that's all handled through the theme. So we'll return to the back end of the site, the dashboard, and we'll go to Appearance and Customize. So we can customize the 2014 theme. Scrolling down, we're going to go to Static Front Page. Right now, we're set to our latest posts, but I'm going to set a static page, and then I'm going to select the front page as being the Guitar Central blog, or I'm sorry, the Welcome to Guitar Central, and my post page will be my Guitar Central blog. Let's go ahead and save and publish this. Return to the front end, refresh the site. Guitar Central blog now, notice, is streaming my posts. So the 3 posts I have in the site are now listed under Guitar Central blog, but if I go to my home page, I'm no longer viewing my posts when I go to guitarshop.freesite.host. I'm no longer going to my post, but I'm going to that Welcome to Guitar Central article that I just wrote. Okay, so let's create a few additional pages within the site, and we're going to create some. Let's do like a guitar lessons page, or maybe we want to sell a few products. Let's create a page. We'll show you how to do drop downs. Okay, so we're going to do pages. Let's click on Add New. I want to add a new page. We're going to title this page Products, or let's do Inventory. And I'm actually not going to create any content for this at this point, but I'm just going to publish it. Publish the page, and then I want to add a new page to be a drop-down. So let's just title this one Acoustic Guitars. I'm going to paste in some plain text. And create a heading. I'm going to insert an image. I'm going to upload a file, go to my acoustic image here, select, I'll do right alignment here, thumbnail, and insert in a page. I'm also going to use this parent option to make this a drop-down under inventory, and then publish. We're going to add a second new page. We'll call this Electric Guitars. Paste in our plain text. Oops. Paste in our text, do a heading, and insert an image. Do my electric guitar. And I'll do right alignment as well, and insert. And I'll also make this a child item of the inventory page. Let's go ahead and publish. We'll return to the front end of the site, refresh the page, click on inventory, and we might want to add some content here. Let's return to the back end. I'm going to go back to all my pages. I don't want my comments to appear in my pages, so I'm going to turn those off. And you know what, I need to do a little bit of learning. I just want this to be like a ghost menu item or a text separator, I think they call them. I don't want this to be a linkable page. I need to do some learning on how to create that, but we're going to move on. We've got our what I really wanted to show you was that we should have a few sub-menu items, but I think we need to actually add those sub-menu items through our menu. So let's go back to our menu here under Appearance and go to Menus. And notice how we've added those top-level menu items, but we also want to add these two sub-menu items. So I'll select those and add to Menu, and I've added those, but right now they are, oops, I think I added them twice. Let's go ahead and remove. And then remove. So right now they're root items on the main menu. Let's save and return. I'll show you what I mean. Refresh. Those are root items on the main menu, but I don't really want them to be root items. I want them to be a drop-down under inventory. So all we do is drag and drop them over just a little bit. Okay, and let's save the menu. Return to the front end again and refresh. And now see how we have these as two drop-down menu items. And we've also, we should have removed our comments from our pages as well. But moving on just a little bit, let's talk about, we're getting close on time, let's talk about our widget ready areas. Again, in WordPress we have our widget ready areas off to different areas depending on the theme. And in this theme, we have 3 widget ready areas. We have one off to the left side. We have a footer widget area, which you can't really see here because there aren't any widgets there. But we also have a right sidebar widget area. And if you return to the WordPress site, go to Appearance and go to Widgets to take a look at the widgets. Right now, back here, we see that in our primary sidebar, again, we have 3 widget ready areas in this theme. And so this will change depending on the theme you're using. But I have Search, Recent Posts, Recent Comments, Archives, Categories, and Meta. And if I return to the back end, or I'm sorry, if I return to the front end, I can see Recent Posts, Recent Comments, Archives, Categories, and Meta, the same widgets that are right here. If I want to remove those widgets, I'd come over here and drag and drop those into the inactive widgets area, or I can, if I wanted to delete them, I could as well. So let's go ahead, let's just drag and drop each of these over to the inactive widgets area, remove all those widgets from the site, and one more. Okay, and when you drag and drop those, they actually save automatically. Let's return to the front end and refresh the page, and we'll notice we don't have any widgets off to the left side of the site anymore. And that's on all pages, of course. So returning to the back end, I want to add a few back. So I'm going to add in a calendar. I like the calendar. I'm going to change this, title this October Events. Let's scroll down. I like that search option too, so I'll re-add that here. And we'll save that. So we've got that. Let's go with recent posts too. Actually, let's put our recent posts into the footer widget area. So we put recent posts in the footer, and maybe we could do, we only have one category. We don't really have any comments on this site either, but let's put recent comments in the footer as well. And now if we return the front end, let's refresh the page. Here we have our calendar, our search option. If we scroll down, we can see our recent comments and recent posts in the footer area. Okay, and there's also one other widget ready area, which is the right sidebar, which is content sidebar here. So let's add one thing here, and what we're going to do, we're going to create a custom widget. So I'll use text, the text option, and let's title this one Guitar Lesson, and I could put some custom text in here and save, and then return to the front end and refresh. And notice how our custom text appears here, and our article kind of shifts off to the left side, okay, or our page shifts off to the left side. What I want to do though with that custom text area, I actually want to show you how to embed a YouTube video. I'm going to go to youtube.com/CloudAccess. This is our YouTube channel, and if you do want to subscribe to our channel, we have over 10,000 subscribers. Every time we upload a new video, you'll get a notification that a new tutorial will be available. And for instance, this WordPress webinar, it's going to be right here later today, replacing this one. We also are currently creating these WordPress tutorials, which will be, we'll have about 10 or 12 WordPress tutorials here for you to review for your site. But what I really wanted to do is grab a guitar video, a guitar lessons. So I'll search for that, and there's one guy who's really good. He's right here. His name's Marty Kramer, I think. I don't want to play the video. That's not the point. I want to embed it. And I'm going to go to the share button below the video, and if the YouTube user has uploaded the video to the Creative Commons, this share option will be here. And I want to click on embed, so I want to embed this in my site, and I get this iframe code. I'm going to copy this iframe code, go back to my WordPress dashboard, and instead of custom text, I'm going to paste in that code. And the width and height here are important, but WordPress will actually, this theme is actually going to resize this video for me. So let's go ahead and save this content. We'll return to the front end and refresh, and that video will be embedded off to the right side. And so we can see that video displayed there. The last thing I want to show you how to do with your WordPress site is how to use plugins. And plugins are really important for extending functionality of the site. Let's go over to Appearance and plugins over here. When you can't accomplish your goal through a widget or through other core WordPress functions, you're going to want to find a plugin. And when you first launch the WordPress site, you'll notice that you have 3 plugins in the site. One is active, and that's the auto login. We developed this plugin to work with our Cloud Control Panel so that you can automatically log into the WordPress site. You also have the Ask Commit plugin, which is a great way to track spam. And in order to enable Ask Commit, you have to sign up and get an Ask Commit key, but it's a great way to block those users from spamming you through any contact form you have on the site. And then there's this Hello Dolly plugin, and this was developed by Matt Mullenweg, who was actually the original creator of WordPress, and he developed this plugin to demonstrate that you can actually use plugins in WordPress. So let's go ahead and activate this, and once I do, we'll see a new lyric to Hello Dolly appear at the top of our WordPress site. So let's activate that. It's going to be active in our site, and notice here how you're still glowing, you're still crowing. Okay, it's a lyric to Hello Dolly, and that's really the only purpose that the plugin serves. And if I refresh the page, notice how we get a different lyric appear up at the top of the page. And so just to kind of illustrate how plugins work, that's why he created that. But we want to go ahead, we want to install a new plugin. So I'll click on the Add New Plugins option, and that's going to take me to kind of like when we use our themes, we get a list of featured plugins, popular or favorite plugins, and this is really useful. I can also search for plugins, and I'm going to search for one directly, but know too that you can go to the WordPress plugin directory. Now click on that link. That's actually going to take me out of my site to wordpress.org/plugins. There are close to 3,500 plugins, really tons and tons of things for your WordPress site. I can't really claim to know a ton about different WordPress plugins, but I know you can find what you're looking for here. I'm going to go back to my site though. I'm going to search, and I'm going to search for a contact form. I'm going to search for Grunion Contact, and I believe this is the contact form I'm looking for, and it has 5 stars, which is really good. I'm just going to scroll down though. I'm not sure if that's exactly the one I'm looking for, but I'm going to try it anyway. We're going to go ahead and install now. And we're sure we want to install this. That's okay. And I'm going to activate this plugin. I think this is the one I'm looking for. No, actually, I think it's supposed to say Grunion Contact. I'm going to go ahead and add new again. Or let's go back a page. No, I'm going to search here. I'll click on Add New. I want to find that Grunion Contact Form. Let's search for Contact Form. Oh, and there are a few here. Let's search for Grunion Contact Form. Here it is. Not Grunion Ajax, but Grunion Contact Form. Let's go ahead and install that now and say OK. So we're installing the correct Grunion form into the site. Let's go back to our installed plugins. And if I don't want that Grunion Ajax, I can select it and delete once it's active. But what I want to do, I want to activate the Grunion Contact Form here. So we'll activate this into the site. And now what I can do is I can create a contact form. So let's go over to our front end. Let's say under we should do a guitar lessons page with a contact form. So let's go ahead and go to pages. We're going to add a new page. We'll do guitar lessons. And I think I still have my plain text copied. Nope, that's the iframe. Let's go back to lorem ipsum, just grab some filler text. We are just about to wrap up today's webinar, so please start posting those questions. Let me know what you want to learn. I won't record those into today's presentation, but we will answer those after I stop the recording. So let's copy that. We'll return to the back end. I'm going to paste as plain text. Again, highlight, heading, really important steps. I'm going to insert another image just because I can, and upload a file, select a file, got my guitar teacher here, right, thumbnail, insert. Okay, and then what we can do is, well, actually, let's do a separate page with the contact form. Let's go ahead and publish this one. And let's add a new page this time. Register for a lesson or sign up today. I'm going to make this a child of my guitar lessons page. And then I'm going to want to add in my form. And I don't know if you noticed this little icon here. This is the custom form. So I'm going to click on this. That's the Grunion contact form we added. And here I get our fields for our form. Let's say that I don't really like website, doesn't make sense, so I'm going to just click on that little minus button. And then I can add a new field. And let's just type this one, playing ability or ability level. Let's not do field, let's do like radio box. First option, beginner. Add another option, intermediate. Add another option, advanced. Okay, and so here we have our form. Let's go ahead and save this field and then add this form to my post. And this is kind of like the strand or the value of the code of the form. I don't want to edit this, but if I publish this and then I go back to my menu, remember to get that to appear on my main menu, I'm going to want to come here and select Sign Up Today, Add to Menu, and then indent that to under Guitar Lessons. And I'll save the menu. I'll return to the front end and refresh the page. I have Guitar Lessons. See our Guitar Lessons page. And I can do Sign Up Today, which takes me to my Grunion contact form, which is autofilling my name and email because I am logged into the WordPress site. Okay, so that's it for today's webinar. I want to thank everyone for attending. We covered a lot of content today. We launched the site, of course. We talked about themes and imagery within the site. We talked about posts and pages and categories and menus and widgets. And I want to know what you want to know now. So start posting those questions in. Don't be shy. Please know that this webinar or recording will be published on our YouTube channel a little bit later today. Let me get back to my channel here. And so a little bit later today, this tutorial will be available for you to review. Please also reach out to us on Facebook if you'd like to. If you go to CloudAccess.net, you can always access our YouTube channel through the quick link at the top of the page here, right here, or find us on Facebook or tweet at us or Google+. We'd love to hear from you on social media. And a couple questions showing up. At this point, though, I'm going to stop the recording to start preparing that for our YouTube channel. We'll get to your questions, but thanks for attending, everyone, and good luck developing your WordPress site.